Broadcasting live from our studio in Boston, Solutions Review is proud to showcase Infinidat in the Solution Spotlight, an inside look at enterprise technologies.
I'm Doug Atkinson here at Solutions Review, and welcome to the Solution Spotlight featuring Infinidat, and focused on the power of enterprise next-gen cyber-centric data protection and recovery. In this era of relentless cyber attacks, we have seen traditional backup methods fall short in providing end-to-end data protection. Today's threat environment calls for a new recovery-focused approach that is truly cyber-centric, that emphasizes high-speed recovery with minimal application and workload disruption. So today, we will shine our spotlight on how InfiniSafe pivots enterprises to a cyber-first recovery-focused solution, how to recover data sets in minutes, and how cyber detection reduces the threat window using AI-based deep machine learning to speed recovery. And to walk us through the Infinidat presentation today is CMO Eric Herzog and Senior Solution Architect Joe Roa. Eric, Joe, thanks for being with us.
Doug, thank you very much. Always love joining the Solutions team, and we appreciate you having us on.
Well, I know a lot about you, Eric. You're a bit of a legend around these parts, but you've brought a crafty veteran along with you. Before we get rolling, Joe, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your role at Infinidat?
My role at Infinidat is primarily to sit between customers and the product teams and the test teams and make sure that what we're building is in alignment with their expectations and that their experiences are in alignment with our expectations of excellence. So that's primarily what I do, and I focus in data protection as well as IP-based storage.
Well, Eric, I'm going to hand it over to you, but before I do, I'm going to let everybody know that if they have any questions at all, they can put them into the comments, and we will take them all in here. I'll hold them to the end. I have a few questions of my own, but we're always eager to get any audience questions, and I know these guys well, and they're going to be able to answer any questions you have, so feel free to submit those. But I'm going to step out of the way, Eric. I'm going to hand things over to you. I know you've got a lot of things you want to walk through. This is a topic that is as hot as any other than AI, I would say, in our world. So take it away, and when you're all wrapped up, I'll pop back in and we'll do a Q&A.
Great. Well, thank you, Doug. So we appreciate everyone joining us today. You can't look at a newspaper, if you still read them like me, since I'm almost 70 years old, or on the internet without seeing the constant, continual threat of cyber. In fact, despite all the other travails in the world, the number 2 concern of the Fortune 500 CEOs, that's right, not the CIO, not the CTO, not the CFO, the CEO, is cybersecurity and how that impacts their businesses. But before we go into detail, just do a quick review of who Infinidat is and what we do. So first of all, we are a high-end solutions provider. 28% of the Fortune 50 are our customers. We focus in the high end. We don't do entry products and we don't do mid-range products. The 3 products we offer, the InfiniBox, our hybrid array and the original product of the company. Our InfiniGuard, which is a purpose-built backup appliance focused on the backup and disaster recovery market. And our InfiniBox SSA all-flash are bound together with a single operating system, the Infuse OS. Now, this is unique. Having been the CMO of the IBM storage division and also a senior VP at EMC before it was Dell, their solutions all have multiple operating systems. For us, we put it all together. And this includes all of our software. Our neural cache technology gives us incredible performance even on a hybrid array. And on our all-flash array, 35 mics of latency for highly transactional workloads. No one is close. Of course, the enterprise-class data services, snapshot, and replication. Our Infiniverse, which gives us a platform-native storage as a service software focus. And our InfiniSafe, which is going to be the focus of today and what we deliver. Now, while we deliver incredible technical value, we know that the real focus is on how does storage optimize my business? How can it help me? So first of all, we'll start at the top. Dramatically lower total cost of ownership and rapid ROI. This was documented by storage industry analyst IDC in interviews with our customers globally. It showed that our ROI was 11 months. Now, when you consider that we're a high-end product that's expensive, that is incredible. Now, how do we do that? Really, in three ways. First of all, our service-oriented automation. Everything is automated. This leads to a set it and forget it IT operations mentality. In fact, if you look at our references or those from Gartner Peer Insights, we're Infinidat, by the way, in these Peer Insights, which means reviews by you, the end users, has been the Customer's Choice Award winner 6 years in a row. So between our references and Gartner Peer Insights, there are 40 or 50 that say we've had one of the Infinidat solutions for 3 or 4 years and we never touch it. That's right, they never touch it. Talk about reducing operational resource needs and cutting the time it takes to manage your storage. Now, because of the way we perform and what we deliver broad-based consolidation. That means that we can take 288 floor tiles, which all of you know is an incredible amount of space in your data center, and shrink that to 62. That's right. That's a global Fortune 100 account, 288 floor tiles to 62. Talk about saving watts, slots, power, floor space, and operational manpower. Not to mention, of course, dramatically reducing their CapEx and OpEx, which they cut in their first 2 years by $61 million by leveraging that broad-based consolidation. But we don't just talk tough, we back it up. So we deliver a guaranteed performance on both the InfiniBox and the InfiniBox SSA. We guarantee on the InfiniBox, SSA, 100% availability guaranteed. And on all three platforms, we give a cyber resilience guarantee. And in a second, Joe's going to show you one of those. We guarantee A, that the snapshots that are used in InfiniSafe are indeed immutable. In fact, 2 of our competitors, you can actually turn it off. That's right. You can set up an immutable snapshot with 2 of them, and you could call them up and their tech support team will tell you how to turn it off. Well, guess what? We don't do that. We don't do that. We also guarantee your recovery time objective, how fast it is to recover. The question isn't if you'll be attacked, it's when and how often. And the odds of someone getting through are tremendous, which we'll talk about in a second. Of course, the end users have noted that if you aren't running Infinidat in your data center, you are wasting money on storage. Now, all this has led to an incredible amount of awards. This is just in 2024 across our portfolio of all 3 of our products as well. But you know what? I'm going to pass it to Joe. We're going to talk about how fast we recover, and Joe's going to show you a live demo. Joe, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Eric. I'm going to get started with the InfiniGuard platform. And what I've got here is a Veeam environment. Veeam and InfiniGuard are a very popular selection for our customers because our InfiniGuard is a deduplication appliance that can provide an extremely high capacity with great resilience and advanced features in cyber protection for Veeam customers. You can see here that I have a repository that is named iBox 2373-DDE2-Veeam-NFS-Guy. And if I go to my inventory or my home, as you will, you can see that I have this repository is mounted. It has 229 restore points. So there's a lot of data protected in this environment. Now, to make a demonstration easier, what I've done is I have mounted that target file system with an authenticated connection on a Linux server. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you Veeam backup files in this file system, and I will count those for you. And as you can see here, I have over 24 petabytes of data represented in this Veeam backup file. So it's an extremely large amount of files. Now, what I'm going to do at the risk of a live demonstration is I'm going to delete these files. Okay, now I've deleted the data. First, I'll start the stopwatch here. I am going to recover that file system. And my snapshot is recovering. And because this has to boot, I have a few minutes I'm going to have to wait. I will pass it back to Eric, and I will interrupt you, Eric, when it comes back, and we can stop the stopwatch together.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you, Joe. Really do appreciate that. By the way, we guarantee that recovery on an InfiniGuard, regardless of the data set size. And you saw Joe is recovering a Veeam backup repository, but that could be Commvault, could be Veritas, IBM Protect of over 24 petabytes. We guarantee recovery in under 20 minutes, and you're going to see that live. Now, cyber attacks are everywhere. It will cost enterprises $9.5 trillion, according to security analysts. That's not your home. That's not my home. That's not Doug Atkinson's Bar and Grill or Joe Roa's cigar store. Enterprises, $9.5 trillion in 2024. I mentioned it's a number 2 concern of Fortune 500 CEOs. And for those of you that are publicly traded, there are now United States federal laws requiring if you have a cyber attack within 4 working days, you need to report. And many of you may have noticed the reporting in Q1 of this year. United Health Group, 2.9 billion. I kid you not. The cyber attack, 2.9 billion. Oh, wait. And then there was that famous airline. I'm a United guy, so I don't fly it. But that famous airline that was canceling flights on and off for a week and a half because of a cyber attack. This also applies to Europe. So for any of you on the European side, between the DORA and the NIS2, which goes into effect in January, you also need to report if you're publicly traded in Europe as well. So it is a big, big, big issue. Now we're addressing that with what we do with our InfiniSafe platform, and let's talk about that. Now, of course, the old way would be, well, we've got a backup. We can just recover that. Well, guess what? Cyber criminals are not like in a typical gangster movie from the 1930s with the machine guns and the I'll break your leg. That's not the way they talk. They are well educated. They are sophisticated hackers. So the reality is, with 1,250, the average number of attacks per week, they're going to get through. Yes, you've got the moat with the alligators and piranha. Yes, you've got the castle walls. Yes, you've got the guards on the castle walls ready with their bows and arrows to, take down whoever comes in. But you know what? That doesn't work. They're going to get in. Remember, in all those Robin Hood movies, did Robin Hood get into the castle even though he wasn't supposed to? They did. And cyber criminals are incredibly sophisticated. So you need to think about recovery first. And you need to recognize that traditional backups are not enough. And in fact, cyber criminals not only will go after your primary data sets, but they will go after your backup data sets. And if they can find them, your disaster recovery sets. You've got your data center in Silicon Valley. And of course, because of earthquakes, you've got your DR site sitting in, I don't know, Colorado or in Montana, somewhere away from the earthquakes. They might try to find that too. So it's very, very, very important that you think about how are you going to recover. And in fact, as noted by Coveware, the average downtime is 22 days. And you saw that, of course, with Delta Airlines and all the trouble they had from their cyber attack. So now when you look about the next generation data protection recovery, it's got to be built around a cyber first recovery methodology. Okay. Doesn't mean you're not trying to use your edge protection, your core protection, your network protection. You need to do that too. But if that's all you do, you're missing out. This is basically business recovery. And what we have with the InfiniSafe cyber attack, our InfiniSafe automated cyber protection, which we announced in May, our InfiniSafe cyber detection, which we announced a couple of years ago, but expanded in May to VMware data repositories, you get business recovery. And we're going to go a little bit deeper on all the things that we do with our next generation data protection recovery, focused on a cyber first mentality. Now, when you look, we've been introducing our InfiniSafe technology since February of 2022. We started on the InfiniGuard. We expanded it to the InfiniBox, the InfiniBox SSA. We added guarantees. And in May of 2024, on the far right on your screen, we announced our automated cyber protection and our cyber detection for VMware. We already had cyber detection, but then it was extended to VMware environments. So let's talk about what you need in our cyber stack. You've got logical air gapping, immutable snapshots, a fenced forensic environment, our near instantaneous recovery, and our cyber detection. Now, the InfiniSafe central stack, the core stack, the immutable snapshots, logical air gapping, a fenced forensic environment, and our near instantaneous recovery and automated cyber detection are built in to the InfuseOS operating system. So whether it be primary storage, the InfiniBox, the InfiniBox SSA, or secondary storage and backup with the InfiniGuard, you get the base level of InfiniSafe at no charge. That's right, at no charge. The only thing we charge for is our InfiniSafe cyber detection. We're going to go deeper on that. Don't forget, we guarantee both the immutability of snapshots across all three platforms, and we guarantee the recovery time objective, how fast it is to recover. On the InfiniGuard, 20 minutes or less. And Joe is demoing that right now, and you'll see shortly how fast it is. And then at the very end of the presentation, we're going to demo recovery on an InfiniBox. We guarantee under 1 minute. That's right. We guarantee under 1 minute. Now, the cyber resilience for InfiniSafe is designed for your primary storage. Your InfiniSafe will work on the InfiniBox hybrid array or on the SSA. We guarantee the immutability of snapshots and the recovery time objective. Now, for secondary storage, we, of course, with our InfiniGuard, do data reduction. So when you're looking at, well, what do I do for my backup application, my Veeam, my Commvault, my Veritas, my IBM Protect, my Zerto, or any of the other backup applications out there, you need to make a decision. Do I want the software doing data deduplication, or do I want the target doing data deduplication, which would be the InfiniGuard? So in the case of the backup application doing it, you use the InfiniGuard. In the case of the don't want it on your server side, then you use the InfiniGuard as your backup technology. Now, we added, in addition to base InfiniSafe, our automated cyber protection, which is also included for free. The concept is to help reduce your threat window. What we do with InfiniSafe ACP is seamlessly integrate with SIM packages, SOAR packages, or if you have a security operations center, or even if you're just using syslogs to track. You can see all of those companies that you can see on the right in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for SIM software. We can work with any of them. We provide in our immutable snapshot the capability of scheduling. Well, that's great. So let's assume Solutions Review is running an InfiniBox SSA. So they're doing snapshots every 12 hours, noon and midnight. Now, Solutions Review also happens to be using Microsoft Sentinel. If Microsoft Sentinel detects a threat, do you really want to wait if you just finished a snap? So we started today's presentation, as you know, at noon US Eastern time. So if you just finished your snapshots, which, by the way, with InfiniBox technology, have no performance impact and also are done very rapidly, you finished at 12:05. Okay, Microsoft Sentinel detects a cyber threat at 12:10 p.m. US Eastern. You really want to wait till midnight? No, scheduling leaves a gap. We do have one customer in the finance sector that does their immutable snapshots every 15 minutes. But we all know that that's an outlier case. Normally it's every 4 hours, 6 or 12. So the idea is to not leave the gap. The second the SIM or the SOAR or the SOC detects a threat, through API integration, it will automatically have the storage kick off an immutable snapshot. This will help you shrink that threat window. It eliminates the gap. And it's all triggered between our integration of InfiniSafe sitting on a storage device and your data center-wide cybersecurity software or your security operations center. Of course, the industry analysts are very, very positive on what we're doing here because there's something unique. Remember, Storage is critical to a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy. Why not integrate that cybersecure storage with your overall cybersecurity, which in this case we're doing with your SIM software, your SOAR software, your security operations center. Now, this helps reduce the threat window. It's real time. The second we hear something from Microsoft Sentinel, IBM QRadar, Fortinet, or any of the other data center-wide cybersecurity software packages, or from your SOC, we will automatically kick things off. You use the InfiniSafe reference architecture guide to do the connectivity between the cybersecurity software or your SOC and ACP. Because our snapshots are instant and have no effect on production, even snapshots on your most highly transactional databases can be orchestrated. And if you want, you can even orchestrate it with InfiniSafe Cyber Detection. That's right. InfiniSafe Cyber Detection will do scanning of immutable snapshots or file systems, or as we announced in May, VMware data stores. We can scan them using AI and machine learning technology at 99.99% effective. In short, the idea is the integration of ACP will help you shrink the threat window and help you deliver cyber secure storage as part of a comprehensive cyber secure strategy. Now, we also introduced InfiniSafe Cyber Detection, which we expanded. InfiniSafe Cyber Detection uses AI and ML technology on your primary storage, on databases, on user files, or on VMware, which we just announced. What this does is take APIs. It does comprehensive indexing. Over 200 different security analytics and statistics are used to indicate a cyber attack. And it learns. So if there is a Doug Atkinson ransomware, and it's known and documented, we know about that in InfiniSafe Cyber Detection. Now, if a new cyber criminal is somehow mimicking very clearly what Doug is doing, we learn. So we know what Doug's cybersecurity software does as it attacks you, and we learn as we see things happening. Remember, corruption can be detected, and it's all done surreptitiously. The average dwell time on a cyber attack is 200 days. Unlike King Kong, who pounds his chest, cyber criminals don't. They do it completely surreptitiously. They are like Jason Bourne, master spy, everything secret. So the cyber detection can help you detect what you see and help you even do post-attack forensics. Now, there's two use cases that we see. First of all, you've got early warning detection with your SIM, with your SOAR, with your SOC. But you could also use InfiniSafe Cyber to help do that as well. You could take multiple InfiniBoxes and you're doing disaster recovery to another InfiniBox. You could put cyber detection there and offload and have cyber detection scan your snaps. By the way, you can scan them at different intervals. You could scan a certain snap once a day. You could scan a different snap once a week. Cyber detection, unlike our base InfiniSafe, is a small charge, but we only charge you for what you scan. So as an example, if you have our largest InfiniBox at 17.5 petabytes of effective capacity, and you want to scan 200 terabytes, we only charge you for 200 terabytes, even though the array it's on is 17.5 petabytes. We only charge you for what you scan. Oh, yeah. Joe, we'll take it away.
Yeah, we're ready. Okay, so you can see here that the deduplication engine at B here has recovered from the snapshot. So let's go ahead and stop that stopwatch at 15 minutes and 13 seconds, understanding that I wanted to show you the message before stopping the clock. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to remount that file system on this Linux server that is a target, and then we're going to that directory where we can once again list the jobs. We can see they are recovered let me get a count. And finally, size representation. And you can see my 24 petabytes of data protection is restored.
Wow, Joe, that is incredible. We guarantee recovery times regardless of dataset size in 20 minutes or left on the InfiniGuard. And Joe just showed you a 24 petabyte Veeam backup repository, which could have been any of the other backup vendors because we support everybody and partner with everybody in 15 minutes. That is just incredible.
Now, if you'd like, I can also show you a recovery on the InfiniBox as a comparison.
Oh, well, let's go do that. By the way, we also guarantee on the InfiniBox recovery time, except the recovery time on the InfiniBox is only 1 minute or less. Joe, take it away.
Okay, so you can see here I've got 20,000 files, and let's take a look at the capacity of the data protected in these files. I've got 2 petabytes of dump files on this NFS or this block volume directory of the InfiniBox. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove these files. They are gone. And I am going to go ahead and unmount this file system. The file system is unmounted. Now I'm going to issue a snapshot recovery of a known good snapshot from the CLI. All right, you can see my 20,000 files are there. And my 2 petabytes is restored. As you can see, it's a pretty simple process in recovery, and you don't have to use the CLI. You can certainly use the UI tools to do a restore from snapshot. Keep in mind, the snapshots are created instantaneously, and they're recovered instantaneously on the InfiniBox. The only time delay is typically the mount, okay? And on the InfiniGuard, the recovery takes somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes. And that is only because we protect the entire InfiniGuard, and as such, the entire deduplication engine has to be remounted to that point in time. Okay, back to you, Eric.
Great. Well, thank you. So we can recover under 20 minutes on an InfiniGuard and under a minute on an InfiniBox or on an InfiniBox SSA. No one can match those recovery times, and we guarantee those for you in writing. So let's get back to our cyber detection again. Could be an early warning system, but also you can use it to scan in the forensic environment. Remember, with InfiniSafe, you get your immutable snapshots, logical air gapping, which separates the management plane and the data plane, and a fenced forensic environment, whether it be the InfiniGuard, the InfiniBox, or the InfiniBox SSA. So you could use cyber detection. You've had an attack. You need to get what the industry calls as a known good copy. So in order to do that, instead of using it as an early warning system, like we saw in the previous slide, you could use it to scan what you put in the forensic environment. Now, the other alternative is to call in your application team. So if you've got Oracle databases, you can call them in. So, or you could use cyber detection, 99.99% validated by a third party, effective. So you can scan, and then when you find a known good copy, then you can do your recovery. After you've had a cyber attack, there's a dashboard. You want to use that. It's organized by severity. So when it does the scan, it can tell you whether things are critical, high, or medium. You can even pull those into an Excel spreadsheet for further analysis. You can create customized and dynamic charts to drill down into the details of an attack. And it will give you details on suspected corruption. You can also set it up to automatically email the various teams you want, whether that be the security team, the storage team. If you're doing this in VMware environments, the VMware team as well. And through the API, you can make sure that this dashboard communicates the other direction to a SIM or a SOAR package. So those packages get notified and then can use their notification schema to let people connected to the SIM or the SOAR software. So a very sophisticated way with cyber detection to check everything back and make sure that other teams know that you need to, and to integrate again with data center wide cybersecurity. Storage is a critical component of your data center cybersecurity package, and you need to make sure that you do that as well. Now, with our May 22nd, 2024 release, we also announced the capability of InfiniSafe cyber detection to use with VMware data stores. We could use it with files, databases, LUNs, file systems in the past, but until May of 2024, you couldn't do a VMware data store. Similar process. It uses AI and ML technology to scan for malware, ransomware, and other cyber anomalies. Now, the one thing is the default is to have all the VMs to be scanned. So you don't have to do that. If you have 5,000 VMware data stores, you can scan 2,000. You can scan 50. You decide what you want to scan, and you can exclude anything that you don't want to be scanned. Now, cyber detection, of course, and everything we've done with InfiniSafe have been greatly welcomed by our end users, by our global channel partner community, and by the storage analyst and the security analyst firms. So, in fact, if any of you from Europe will be at the Gartner IOCS show in London in November, we will be going through and doing another presentation on InfiniSafe cyber detection, InfiniSafe automated cyber protection, and what we do, everything cyber. We'll also be doing that at the Gartner IOCS show in Las Vegas in December. So please come see us at both of those locations. Now, we also have a dedicated webpage for you on cyber resilience. It's got all kinds of things, including things like our InfiniSafe solution brief. So we have all of this technology available for you. And we even have a dedicated page on our next generation data protection and recovery. So please make sure you reach out to us or to our global channel partner community. And remember, enterprise storage is a critical component of a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy. And with that, I'd like to thank you. Doug, what do we see on the question side?
Well, before I jump into the questions, because we have a couple of them, I can't emphasize enough how important this topic is. You don't have to do a lot of research to find, the size of the threat. 1/3 of small to medium-sized businesses were hit with a cyber attack in the past year, according to Microsoft. Small to medium-sized businesses. I mean, this is not a nice to have anymore. This is really a have to have, and we would certainly encourage everybody to go to the Infinidat cyber resilience site that Eric just showed. But with regard to questions, Eric, one that we did get was regarding snapshots recovered on an InfiniGuard. Do they only protect data or on a share or a repository level?
Yeah, that's a good question. Eric, should I take this?
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
So the InfiniBox is providing block volumes or file systems as repositories for the data protection scheme. And as such, we deploy snapshots on a volume or file system basis on the InfiniBox technology. On the InfiniGuard, we protect the entire deduplication engine. So competitively, that's huge. Our competitors typically will protect the repository or the share, or also known as the M-tree. We protect the logs, the users, the user passwords, the disk volumes, the entire operating system, and everything in it. They're still protected instantaneously with a snapshot, and that can be on a schedule or it can be ad hoc. And they are recovered instantaneously. However, the deduplication engines do take about 10 to 15 minutes in order to boot and test and validate that infrastructure as clean.
And is that the reason why recovery runs quicker on an InfiniBox
Absolutely.
than on InfiniGuard?
Yeah, actually, the snapshot recovery is actually the same amount of time. It's the fact that because there are so many moving parts in a deduplication engine that need to be validated on boot, that's what takes the time.
And so the immutable, not everybody is working toward immutable. Am I right about that? That immutable is more of a conscious decision that needs to be made?
Yeah. So basically, we support read, write, or immutable snapshots. So there are times when you want to take snapshots that are not immutable, and that's fine. You just need to designate, and when you use it for cyber, you want to use an immutable snapshot. There are other reasons to take snapshots. Some people use snapshots as a replacement for backup, as an example. So you may want it to be read write. The other advantage to immutable snapshots is, in addition, for cyber, immutable snapshots actually really came about for regulatory and compliance issues. So if you're a publicly traded company and you end up in court, computer data that's from an immutable snapshot is legal evidence and can be introduced into court, not just printed records. So that actually happened before immutable snapshots, where people realized that immutable snapshot would be ideal for cyber as well. So there's both types of snapshots. We have both types of snapshots available. Some of our competitors have both as well, but as I pointed out, two of our competitors, you can take the immutability and turn it off. So in my brain, that's not truly immutable if you can turn it off. But we do have read-write snapshots, but also we have immutable snapshots. You pick what you want. On the same InfiniBox or InfiniBox SSA, you could have 27 read-write snapshot schedules that you're doing every day, and you could have another 27 immutable snapshots on different data sets that you're also doing every day. So you pick what you want to snap, how you want to snap it, what the schedule is for the snap, and whether the snapshot is a read-write snapshot or an immutable snapshot. We support both.
And with regard to those snapshots, you mentioned that obviously in what you just said, you can set your schedule for however you'd like. Some are more aggressive than others. But when an attack is detected, there is a trigger that then fires a snapshot right then?
Yes. So if you're using automated cyber protection, ACP, and you are integrating with something like Microsoft Sentinel or IBM's QRadar or Splunk, all of which, by the way, are leaders in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for SIM software, cybersecurity software, even if you have a schedule set. So again, Solutions Review is an Infinidat customer, and you guys decide you're going to do snapshots at noon and at midnight. Okay, so you're doing it twice a day. If Microsoft Sentinel detects an attack at 3 p.m., so you just finished your snaps 3 hours ago, you're not due to do another snap till 9, another 9 hours, right? So what we will do is, if it's integrated, then automated cyber protection will kick off a snapshot right away. It won't wait for the schedule. And the idea is you don't want to leave a gap. Okay, when you leave a gap, you could be attacked during that gap time. So if you're doing it twice a day, midnight and noon, an attack happens, in this case, at 2 o'clock in the morning, Microsoft Sentinel detects it. Do you really want to wait another 10 hours to do a snapshot? No. Now, you may not be attacked when Microsoft Sentinel detects it. It could be attacking some other servers, could be attacking some other storage, could be attacking the network, right? But do you want to take the chance? And because our snapshots are instantaneous and have no performance penalty, why not do them? So you set up the schedules you want, but with automated cyber protection, you can accelerate, and literally, when a cyber event is detected by the data center-wide cybersecurity software or your security operations center, we will automatically kick off a snap and not wait for the normal scheduled time, because you don't want to have attack during that delta, right? So if you got a 12-hour schedule, that's 12 hours where they could be attacking you. So if the cyber event happens, you want to kick off a snap right away. And that's what automated cyber protection does. Integrate with data center-wide cybersecurity software packages or your security operations center. And once you've set up that automation, if they detect something, we'll do a snap instantaneously right away. We won't wait for the schedule to happen.
And when you say instantaneously, snap is not dependent upon the file. It's snapping in terms of size and timing. It's just
Yeah. You just tell it what you want to do. I want to snap this volume, and I'll snap the volume. You want to snap the file system, it'll snap the file system. So it'll snap it right away. It has no performance penalty, so it's very low risk.
Yeah, no, it sounds exactly like what you'd want. So I rarely ask these questions, but we get them all the time, and we gotten a couple of them, and that is, how much does it cost, InfiniSafe?
So InfiniSafe base is free. So the immutable snapshots, the logical air gapping, the automated cyber protection, the fenced forensic environment, and the incredible recovery time that we deliver under a minute on the InfiniBox, the InfiniBox SSA, and under 20 minutes on the InfiniGuard. All that is free. We do charge for the cyber detection, and the cyber detection we only charge for what you scan. So if you have 200 terabytes you want to scan and your array is 17.5 petabytes, we charge you for 200. If 2 months from now you want to change that from 200 to 300 terabytes, we charge you for 300 terabytes. You've got a 17 petabyte array. We're not charging you for the size of the array. We charge only for what you scan, but that's only for cyber detection. The bulk of the InfiniSafe technology is free, part of our InfuseOS operating system. And whether you have an InfiniGuard or InfiniBox or the InfiniBox SSA, you get the bulk of our cybersecurity technology at no charge.
Everybody at a certain level is reasonably smart. They're doing something. Everybody always has something at this point. Nobody's kind of sitting out there saying, I don't know about this cybersecurity yet. I'm gonna stay completely unprotected. So how do you help folks who are thinking of moving to another level, maybe want to investigate bringing Infinidat in? How do you work with somebody that's already got some level of sophistication already in place?
Well, normally when you talk to the CISO or the CTO or the CIO, and you bring up cybersecure storage, it's normally not part of their core cybersecurity strategy. They think about edge, right? The moat. They think about application scanning. They buy SIM and source software. They set up a security operations center. Okay. They think of cybersecurity across their network infrastructure, but storage is often forgotten. So what we do is make sure that everyone understands that if you don't do cybersecure storage, you've gone on vacation, you turned off your alarm, you opened all of your doors, your back door, your side door, your garage door, your front door. You've opened all the windows, and you've posted on every social media venue that you use, my home is wide open. Why don't you steal my stuff? All of the most important core data of an enterprise is sitting on the storage. Why would you want to protect the edge only, the network only, or the apps only, and not protect the actual data that those applications generate? And you'd be surprised at how many times I present to a CISO or a CTO or a CIO and they say, whoa, we didn't think of that. So we make sure that we do it. And as both security and storage analysts have indicated, Infinidat with its InfiniSafe technology has the broadest set of enterprise storage cybersecurity technology of any storage vendor. But again, most times when you talk to a CISO, a CTO, or CIO, they often don't think about doing cybersecurity on the storage side, essentially leaving their home wide open to steal everything you want and telling everyone about it. And right in front of the house, they post a big sign. So not only on social media, there's a big sign in the front of the house on their lawn saying, steal my stuff. I don't care.
Yeah, it's important to look at layers, right? And from storage perspective, this is an easy button. This is a fast protection, a fast recovery, and it is entire to your storage, right? So the data is protected. So all the other layers of protection matter in the industry. This is just an easy safety net, if you will.
And it's your experience that cyber attacks will target the backup environment first, or at least along the way?
They will target everything, because if you don't target the disaster recovery or the backup, the CIO will just call up the backup guys and say, "Hey, we're having a cyber attack. When did we back up? Oh, we backed up last night. Okay, great. So we might lose some data. Some bad things are going to happen now, but let's just restore the backup." So the the cyber criminals understand the data flow. They understand that the servers put it on the storage. They understand the storage is backed up. They understand that storage usually has a replica somewhere for, fire flood type, right, disaster recovery. And we would argue that a cyber attack is a disaster. So the smart cyber criminals, they will go after anything they can find from a disaster recovery site. They will go after all of the backup and the primary. That's one of the reasons why you see, according to security analysts, the average dwell time for an attack is close to 200 days. And the reason it's 200 days is they are doing it very surreptitiously. You don't just encrypt everything right away. It's noticeable. And they're not only going on your primary storage, they're looking at your backup and secondary storage. And if they can find where your disaster recovery site is, they're doing it there as well. Because if you don't do that, you can just restore from your disaster site, right, your DR site, or you can just restore your backup. So they know that the only way to truly hold you for ransom, or if it's a true attack, like obviously has been happening with nation states attacking other nations, they're trying to destroy the data. And you can't do that if there's a backup or a disaster recovery business continuity replica. So the cyber criminals know to go after all of the various types because they understand the data flow and how enterprises or big governments try to protect their data. And so they make sure they get all of it. Otherwise, you just go to the backup or go to the disaster recovery site, and they know that. So they can't really hold you for ransom. Or if it's a more malicious attack, they can't destroy your data, right? Because you've got duplicate copies of it, and they understand that.
So the engagement process. So it's a fairly compelling presentation, Eric. And so, what happens when somebody says, "All right, that's I've heard enough. I need to get in touch with Infinidat." What can somebody expect in terms of how the engagement will go?
Well, they should just reach out to us. We will do demos. If they want to start with a demo, we can come see them. We have a global set of channel partners, many of which not only sell Infinidat, but sell cybersecurity technology through their cybersecurity practices. So we can connect you with them. So all those will work. www.infinidat.com. And obviously, if you want to go deep right away, you can go, and we will make this available, this presentation, to our cyber resilience page or our next gen data recovery and data protection page. So a lot of different ways to reach us, or reaching out, of course, to our existing channel partners. All that works for us.
And one last question from me, and I'm always curious about this, being having been raised on the sales track. What gets in people's way with regard to making a decision like this?
Well, I think the first thing is most times people don't realize how important storage is in a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy. They know about creating the moat and digging the moat and filling it with alligators and, of course, piranha. So you got to swim across the moat. They know about protecting the ed, right? So if they've got their empire, if they're the Roman Empire, they've got, military bases all over their empire, right? Trying to protect what's away from Rome as well as what's in Rome. Okay, so they know how to do the endpoint. They know how to protect their highways. Okay, in California, I'm native Californian, we have the CHP. In other states, they have a similar thing, highway patrol or state troopers, and they're making sure the highways are safe, right? Whether that be from crime or whether, an accident, right? They're trying to make sure. So they know the network, right, between the storage, the servers, the application layers, that all needs to be taken care of. So they know that as well. They also know that the core, the applications, well, we should be scanning those applications or scanning the servers they're on. They just don't realize the amount of information. And of course, all applications generate data, and that data ends up on their enterprise storage. So it's more a lack of understanding how critical storage is in the overall cycle of data management and how the cyber criminals know how to get at it. So if you include the storage too, you truly have a comprehensive. Remember, it's not if you'll be attacked, it's when and how often. It's a $9.5 trillion problem. So clearly, cyber criminals are getting through. So that's why you got to make sure that you include storage in a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy. And that's the number one reason why people don't do it. It's not the cost, right? United Health Group, 2.9 billion. Okay, if a company replaces all their storage and uses our cyber, it's not even close to $2.9 billion. Or even the attack that MGM Grand had, which was one of the first profile after this new law was passed in the United States, 128 million. We don't cost $128 million if they replaced every single stitch of storage, put in Infinidat in, and then put InfiniSafe on it. Not even close to that. So the cost of a cyber attack dramatically outweighs the cost factor of what it is. It's just, I think people don't realize that storage is attacked and they're protecting all these other areas and not including it. That is the main reason you don't see such comprehensive security on the storage side, because they don't think to include it. And that's part of what we do with our educational process, such as today's webinar. And again, we thank you very much, Doug, for having us join you.
It's only going to get more complex. It's only going to get more sophisticated in terms of the attacks that are occurring. We always enjoy having the brightest solutions in our spotlight. Infinidat is certainly one of those, and we would encourage everybody to go to infinidat.com and check out all that they are demonstrating through events like this, but also all the other information that you can get. And please, by all means, reach out if you have any questions directly to Infinidat. Joe, very much appreciate the high wire act of a live demo. Never a dull moment, and again, very much appreciate all the time today, and best of luck for the remainder of the year, but also in all the things that you guys are developing and doing in the coming year.
Great. Well, thank you very much. And by the way, wait till you see what happens next week, Doug. We're going to be introducing some storage technology for AI applications and workloads. Stay tuned. You'll see that mid next week.
Excellent. Well, we'll be watching. Thanks. Well, there you have it. Another solution in our spotlight. We want to thank Eric and Joe and Infinidat for that presentation, and we appreciate your attendance as well. Until next time, I'm Doug Atkinson here at Solutions Review. Thanks for watching.
If your business would like to be featured in a future event, contact us today.